Good evening and welcome to UBC Tonight. I am Brian Tumwine Byaruhanga, and on sign language it is Senyomo. Our first story is from President Museveni. Now, President Museveni has formally endorsed Ambassador Olara Otunu for the position of the United Nations Secretary General. President Museveni presented Uganda's nominee to representatives of the UN Security Council member states during a meeting at State House Entebbe. President Museveni described Ambassador Olara Otunu as an experienced diplomat with a deep understanding of the United Nations system. Let's take a look.
For some time.
And was in the General Assembly. He will tell you the details. But he's really the type of person you would need in the UN system, because he's very much aligned to it. He speaks French. Speaks English very well with without a tribal accent. So I hand Ambassador Olara Otunu to you so that he can brief you himself.
Some of them, when I visited them, had questions to ask. And I said to them, the best person to address these questions to is His Excellency the President himself. Because among other things, some of them said that the history that you referred to on two previous occasions, when the government of Uganda intervened and blocked my forward movement of candidature, and they said, is there been a change of mind? Is there a new situation? Is this a serious commitment? Will they really do a serious campaign? And I said the best person to hear from is the President himself and the government of Uganda, because they are the ones who put forward this nomination. So I'm very, very glad that we're having this meeting, and I hope their excellencies will feel free to ask you the question they were asking me in the chancelleries, you see. In terms of really my background, we've really distributed some materials, so I'll not take up too much time. But I think it is fair to say that most of my working life has been at the United Nations and in United Nations related activities.
We will give you full support. So that articulation, Mr. President, in my view, was extremely important. I hope that the ambassadors will clearly convey that message to their respective governments. In national politics, he remains a clearly strong pillar, and as the President said, he was both a leader of the Uganda People's Congress and also a presidential candidate. He competed with the President. And we think it is now the time to actualize the long postponed ascendancy of Olara Otunu to the position of Secretary General of the UN. And we ask you to play your role in that direction. I thank you, Mr. President.
President Museveni there endorsing Ambassador Olara Otunu. Now let's talk garbage. It has been a week since the national cleaning exercise across Kampala, where garbage from their homes was dumped along the roadsides. Now, piles of uncollected waste still litter several communities, raising concerns over public health and the effectiveness of the campaign. Kaye brings us to speed.
It's been a week since the nationwide cleanup exercise ended, but heaps of garbage remain uncollected on the roads and streets of Kampala, particularly on feeder roads that connect residential communities.
Akungamu omulimu abantu bonna bavaayo ndoza mulaba byonna gyonna emyala miyonjo bonna ne baleeta kasasiro ne bata kasasiro ntumuteekano naye anfuukidde ekizibu.
You find that the one which was collected was the one on the main roads, but the one which is still in our communities is the one which is on the on the feeder roads. So we are having a high risk of spreading diseases from this garbage which is still dumped in our areas.
In Zambia's Gogonya zone and Namuongo, residents say they are stuck with piles of rotting waste outside their homes and businesses.
Government yetuweereza ebimotoka bitwale kasasiro kuba wennyini wenkolera bwe bateeka kasasiro situkyalina bye tukola kubanga kasasiro awunya nnyo bamuteekamu n'embwa envundu.
Twamuteeko nga tumuteese mu bukutye naye tekuli motoka yajja okumunona era kati wuunazeemu okutandika okuddamu okusaasaana mu bantu tetumanye ekyokukola kati obuvere bwe twali tuteeseemu butandise okukaddiwa.
Nze nkolera awo ntunda ngoye naye bakasitoma bwe bajja bekwata ku nnyindo bagaceeki atuuka wano kasasiro asusse tutunda ebyokulya ensowera ziva wali zigenda ku byokulya wakasasira tuli mu maaso.
Some residents have resorted to burning the garbage in an attempt to disseminate the heaps and the stench. With the rainy season fast approaching, many fear that decomposed waste could pollute the environment and trigger outbreaks of waterborne diseases.
Tuyambe kubanga ndi mu kaseera kazibu nnyo n'abantu bange bagenda kulwala nereerwe naye ndi bubi jakasasiro kuleerwe yaffe kati muteekebwa batuyambe batuleetere emmotoka tujjewo kasasiro ono tusobole okweyagalira mu nsi yaffe. Ntayampe n'ekizibu kyaleerwe kubanga kati nange ntandise okwekweka abaleerwe bulalwe bajja n'abakyala gwe waduumira okuteeka wano kasasiro.
At Namuongo, residents dumped garbage along the railway line, but they are in fear of cholera and dysentery outbreak.
Kaya nkuba etonnye ate kana akatundu ka kolera okitegeera kubanga no kasasiro ono nga bw'omulaba si kasasiro yekka.
Garbage which is here, the rainwater, the running water will pass through the garbage, and at the end of the day we find that if someone has had maybe an infectious disease like cholera or like diarrhea, that means it is going to pass it to other people where the rainwater is passing.
The LC1 chairperson of Gogonya zone in Zambia, Orlando Lutaya, says they have made efforts to contact KCCA garbage truck operators, only to be told that they are still prioritizing the evacuation of garbage from the city's main roads.
Yeah, we have tried to call them, but wherever you call them, they will tell you that we are busy cleaning up the garbage on the main roads. So they have never concentrated on on the feeder roads, and you find that wherever you are bypassing on the main roads, you realize that there is no more garbage. But when you come into the feeder roads that are joining communities to communities, you realize that everywhere you go, you'll find that garbage is alongside the roads.
Cayenne Faith reporting for UBC.
Thank you so much, Cayenne, for that. Now, National Drug Authority has recovered government medicines worth an estimated 70 million during a major operation in Oyam district that led to the arrest of 7 suspects, including 4 government health workers. NDA says the suspects are accused of stealing medicines from public health facilities and attempting to conceal their origin by covering or removing government labels before illegally distributing them. Let's take a look.
The National Drug Authority conducted a targeted enforcement operation in Oyam district to recover government medicines that had been stolen from public health facilities and diverted into illegal market. The operation recovered tens of thousands of doses of essential medicines, including ARVs drugs, malaria medicines, and maternal health kits, mama kits.
National Drug Authority has conducted a special operation which has led to the arrest of 7 suspects from Oyam district, and these include Akero Winnie, the store in charge for Atipe Health Center 3, Oriango Jeremiah, an assistant in charge store for Anyike Health Center 4, Joe, a security officer at Anyike Health Center 4, Ogwanga Victor, a security officer at Anyanki Health Center 4, Samuel Okoto, a one chairperson LC1 Minakura Town Council, and Beatrice Laike, and who runs a boutique at Kona Kamadino store.
National Drug Authority spokesperson said the theft of government medicine deprives patients of life-saving treatment and causes financial loss to the government.
Conceal these drugs and cause scarcity and sneak them out of hospitals using different means, including hiding them in the dustbins. And it's no wonder that we have arrested some of the security officers from those hospitals.
The authority says the intelligence reports indicate that some Sony ARVs from districts such as Oyam and Chisoro have been smuggled across Uganda's borders into Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan.
Call upon the public to remain vigilant and report to police and National Drug Authority such a criminal incidents that do not only steal from the poor but cause government losses, because on one hand government is paying health workers to give these drugs to the public, but also
National Drug Authority has called upon the public to remain vigilant and report any suspected theft or illegal sales of government medicines. Joseph Muyingo for this news.
From NDA now, let's talk police. The Directorate of Traffic Police have made mandatory checks of passenger bus route charts to determine the distances each bus and driver can cover in a journey. Now the Northern Uganda Bus and the Truck Drivers Network want government to allow buses to cover longer distances than that stipulated in the route charts.
In the wake of major bus accidents that have led to the death of over 50 passengers in the last 2 months, traffic police have made it mandatory for all commuter buses to follow travel route charts.
They also help to manage driver fatigue, which is one of the major contributors to road crashes. An instance where someone drives a distance of 300 kilometers and is to return, that person is tired or fatigued, and which is a silent killer on our roads. They also discourage speeding by ensuring operators adhere to scheduled travel times.
This is intended to curb the main causes of bus accidents by allowing bus drivers and buses rest before they make any further journey.
We have seen some of these buses that travel in the same time, competing for passengers on the road. As someone is driving, the other one drives, bypasses, then crosses all of a sudden to pick passengers. So to avoid all this, these buses are regulated by the route charts. I hope now know that to those who have been complaining that only a document of a route chart to inconvenience us, because some buses have been forced to park and wait for their time.
The chairperson, Northern Uganda Bus and Truck Drivers Network, David Okello, appeals to government to allow only bus drivers rest.
I'm appealing to government, really. The bus cannot get tired. It's the human being, the driver driving these buses, that will get tired. So we really appeal to the government that they should also consider that one, that when the driver has rested and is able to take another trip, then he should be allowed, because it's really disorganizing our industry.
Any driver or operator found violating these requirements will face the full force of the law. And any officer who knowingly allows a non-compliant bus to pass a checkpoint without taking appropriate action will also be held accountable.
These believe that the main causes of bus accidents are underlined within the management issues.
Process of permits. It was narrowed, so narrowed. The days when we got permits, there was an interval of 3 years. They are considering age, the time your permit has matured, but nowadays it is just a license. Someone can jump from a lower class to a higher class, no experience, nothing.
Also looking at the condition of the buses that we are driving. Then also we are looking at how to manage the fatigues that are really now causing this accident. And the other thing also we are looking at it's like to ensure that the drivers has all the valid documents to operate the buses, not that operating the bus without the documents, like the PSB badges and the permit. And you must have the class of the bus.
Komagum Rogers for UBC.
Thank you, Komagob, for that. The People's Front for Freedom Party has updated the country on the health status of founding leader Dr. Kanukiza Besigye. PFF, a party deputy chairman, Dr. Lulu Mebaiga, told the media that Dr. Besigye has been discharged from the intensive care unit at Mulago National Referral Hospital. The party leadership also addressed about the upcoming local council 2 elections. Our reporter has the details.
The People's Front for Freedom Party has confirmed that Dr. Kiza Besigye is out of the intensive care unit and now at Mulago Hospital's 6th floor under the watch of doctors.
Subsequently, we have been told that he has now been admitted on 6th floor and is out of the intensive care unit.
The party deputy chairman, Dr. Lulu Mebaiga, was unhappy with restrictions preventing party leaders from accessing Dr. Besigye.
We were dissatisfied by those maneuvers which could have resulted into worsening of a situation which could have been saved within the court, within High Court, where Dr. Besigye collapsed. We were denied access to him at that very time.
Baiga congratulated LOC1 chairpersons who emerged victorious and urged Ugandans to also participate in LOC2 elections due 10th August 2026.
We want to congratulate those ones who went through. Those who have gone through can go still to LC2 level.
Besides, Lulume commended local government minister Baram Barugahala and Deputy Justin Namele's anti-corruption and urged them to focus more on the ministry's core mandate.
While we appreciate that there is a lot of corruption going on at the local level and it should be highlighted and fixed, we do not think that this is a sustainable way.
Shiba Nanteza, reporting for UBC.
We return again to police. Police in Kampala have launched a manhunt for a woman accused of burning her 4-year-old daughter over the alleged theft of food. Maclean Zabachi, a resident of Chambogo in Nakawa Division, is currently on the run while the victim is receiving treatment under police supervision. Let's take a look.
The weekly police crime report has indicated an increase in cases of child abuse and other violations against children. At least 4 cases of defilement were reported across the Kampala metropolitan area.
Chira Road Police is holding a 32-year-old man known as Madibo Lewis, a resident of Bukoto, Nakawa Division. It's alleged while the mother was sleeping, the suspect defiled her 6-year-old girl. The matter was reported. The victim informed the mother, and we were also informed. Investigations are ongoing, and the file will be submitted to the office of the DPP for legal advice.
In Kawempe Division, 2 suspects are in police custody for allegedly defiling and impregnating a 13-year-old girl. The suspects have been identified as Kadomolo Yusuf and Magaya Samuel.
It was reported on the 28th of July 2026 after the victim fell sick and was confirmed pregnant. The victim stated that she had been with 3 men at different times. Imagine a 13-year-old girl. Efforts to arrest the 3rd suspect are still ongoing.
In Chambogo, Nakawa Division, police are searching for a mother, Maclean Zabaki, who allegedly burned her 4-year-old daughter for reportedly stealing food.
That the child was allegedly burnt with hot water from a kettle by her biological mother, identified as Zabachi Maclean. It's alleged that the suspect assaulted the child after accusing her of eating rice in her absence. Efforts are underway to trace and arrest the suspect, who is currently on the run.
With the learners returning home for holidays, parents and guardians are advised to remain vigilant and closely monitor their movements.
With children returning for holidays, parents and guardians are urged to remain vigilant and closely monitor their children. Dear parents, closely monitor the movements of your children. Leaving young children unattended, especially at night, exposes them to danger.
The 2025 Police Annual Crime Report indicates that 710 cases of child abuse and torture were reported, representing a 9.7% reduction from the 787 cases recorded in the previous year. Abdul Nasser Lobwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Thank you so much, Nasir, for that. Judicial officers are embarking on a field visit to Uganda's oil and gas operational areas. The 4-day program, running from the 4th to the 7th of this month, is aimed at equipping judicial officers with a deeper understanding of the country's oil and gas value chain, enabling them to effectively, fairly, and impartially adjudicate any legal matters arising from the sector. Dennis Sigoa has the details.
Members of the judiciary will visit the Albert and Graben from the 4th to the 7th of this month in an immersion program organized by Uganda National Oil Company, Bank of Uganda, Uganda Revenue Authority, and the Petroleum Authority of Uganda.
What brings together Ministry of Energy, Uganda Revenue Authority, Bank of Uganda, Petroleum Authority of Uganda, Uganda National Oil Company cannot be a small thing. And oil indeed is a big thing for our country.
Our collective responsibility is to ensure that every stage of petroleum value chain is guided by integrity, transparency, and accountability. Only then can petroleum become a catalyst for broad-based and sustainable economic transformation rather than a source of economic and social vulnerability.
The participants started with a high-level briefing to update them on the latest developments in Uganda's petroleum industry and the role of the judiciary in supporting this sector's growth. The discussions at the Supreme Court covered the regulatory framework, petroleum taxation, environmental safeguards, legal governance, commercial operations, and the overall structure of Uganda's oil and gas value chain.
Discussion is the legal issues, enforcement in oil and gas from development to production. And we consider it very timely because my discussion then is to show what issues we've seen in terms of environment and land within this period and national content, and then how we see when we start production.
As Uganda advances towards building a US $500 billion economy by 2040, the oil and gas industry is one of the country's strategic growth drivers.
But soon, before the end of this year, we are going to enter the midstream, where the oil comes out of the ground. And my Lord, that is going to generate quite a new set of challenges, some of them legal, and if we do not have the foresight to prepare for them, they may catch us off guard.
Knowing what to expect during the field visit will help us maximize our time on site. Second, the sessions on taxation in the oil and gas sector, petroleum revenue management, and financial governance hit at the very core of our national interest. Disputes involving billions of shillings in the oil revenues, complex corporate tax structures, and production sharing agreements will ultimately find their way to our courts. The judiciary must remain an unwavering bulwark of financial integrity and transparency. We must ensure that national revenues are managed strictly according to the law.
Uganda's petroleum projects have registered progress As of June 30th of 2026, the Tilenga project was 74% complete. The Kingfisher development project stood at 76%, while the East African crude oil pipeline EACOP had reached 90% overall completion. The departure briefing and training session of the judiciary at the Supreme Court in Kampala comes at a time when Uganda is edging very close to its first oil production. According to analysts, the judiciary must be well versed with knowledge of the entire sector before the first oil starts flowing. Besigye for UBC.
Thank you so much, Dennis, for that. Now, let's talk human rights. The Uganda Human Rights Commission has challenged a recent UN human rights report on Uganda. The Commission says rights assessments must be balanced, factual and evidence-based. It urges Uganda's constitutional institutions deserve equal recognition. Henry Okrut has the details.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights says Uganda is experiencing restrictions on dissent, shrinking civic space, and weakening rule of law. The report also cites alleged disappearances, torture, arbitrary arrests, and increased military involvement in civilian affairs. But the Uganda Human Rights Commission says the assessment overlooks Uganda's constitutional accountability institutions.
Uganda has a constitution, Uganda has courts of law, Uganda has a parliament, it has a national human rights institution and other accountability mechanisms that receive complaints, that investigate them, that also provide avenues for redress. Now, where there are allegations of abuse, these should be tested by evidence, not amplified into a political conclusion. But also, why turn allegations into a blanket indictment of an entire country?
Kaheru says no country has a perfect human rights record.
The truth is that there is no nation that can claim perfection. Every country has tensions between security, public order, and political competition and civil liberties. The difference is whether institutions exist to manage those tensions, correct abuses, and keep the system working.
While welcoming engagement with international human rights bodies, the Commission says Uganda's progress should also be reflected.
A fair assessment must see both the challenges and the institutions. It must also see both the violations and the remedies. It must see both the pressure and the progress. That is the only credible way to speak about Uganda, not through a narrative that tends to erase institutions, not through a narrative that ignores the country's legal framework.
The United Nations wants Uganda to protect civic freedoms, uphold the rule of law, and safeguard constitutional rights. But Uganda Human Rights Commission insists those concerns should be assessed alongside the country's existing accountability mechanisms. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you so much, Henry, for that. That story takes us to a very short break, and we shall do return with business.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, MEMD, warns the public that fraudsters using fake social media accounts to solicit money while falsely claiming they can secure licenses, appointments with the Honourable Minister, or influence ministry decisions. Please note, you do not pay to meet the Honourable Minister or any Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development officials. Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has not authorised anyone to collect money on its behalf. All Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development services are free of charge, except for statutory fees provided for by the law. Verify any communication by contacting info@energy.go.ug. Report any suspected fraud to the Ministry and the relevant law enforcement.
In Uganda, mornings don't begin with sunrise. They begin with courage. One man, one factory that has refused to stay silent. With one spark of courage, a chain of prosperity begins. When one Ugandan stands up, the nation moves. Pearl Bank. Grow. Prosper.
Every life begins in a moment like this. Certain, planned, full of promise. For us, it's a bold ambition to make lives better. Because somewhere, someone is stepping into a world of work for the first time with the confidence that their retirement is taken care of. We make dreams possible. From owning homes to scaling businesses. And when health takes an unexpected turn, help is there when it's needed most. And because legacies matter, what people build does not end with them. It's passed on. We value moments with go-getters, bold dreamers and believers. Different paths, different rhythms, with one shared belief that financial freedom is within reach. For 40 years, we've made lives better and fueled Uganda's economy. Through careful investment, we have supported businesses, created jobs, and backed our nation. To us, it's more than saving. It's believing in effort, in patience, in possibility. It's making lives better. We believe in you, in us, and in Uganda.
NSSF, 40 years of making lives better.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. It is still UBC Tonight. My name is Byaruhanga Byaruhanga and Yusuf Senyomo on the sign language. The famous Ugandan dance group, the triplets Ghetto Kids, that performed in the 2026 World Cup, said they are looking for more opportunities to perform at the Confederation of African Football Tournament due next year. They made the remarks as they returned from the World Cup performance. Let's take a look.
Entebbe International Airport was filled with excitement as the Ugandan dance group Ghetto Kids returned to the country. The triplet Ghetto Kids performed the 2026 World Cup song Die Die alongside Shakira and Burna Boy during the opening and closing of the 2026 World Cup in America. Although Uganda did not qualify for the World Cup, but the triplet Ghetto Kids made the Uganda's presence felt in the World Cup a reason they feel they can do more for the country.
Yeah, it was fun. The experience was good. There were a lot of lights. People were cheering. There were many people who were at the stadium. The lighting was different. So being at the World Cup performance, halftime show, performing before a lot of celebrities, it was so nice and it hits different. We are very ready and open to partner with the Uganda Tourism Board or any tourism industry in Uganda to promote our country, because we are ready and we showed them that as we have got chance to perform for the World Cup, and very many people, their eyes are on Uganda in a positive way.
However, the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Tourism Board, Juliana Kagwa, says they are in partnership with the triplet Ghetto Kids to promote Uganda.
Uganda Tourism Board, coincidentally, happy coincidence, has been engaging the Ghetto Kids through their management for the last few months, even before World Cup, even before that particular piece of good news. So in terms of our local talent and people that have been already positioning Uganda as a country full of vibe, full of joy, dance, music, food, culture, you'll see some of the content that the Ghetto Kids produced ahead of going to the World Cup was in service of just what you're talking about. So as Uganda Tourism Board, we've identified a host of Ugandan, I'll call them influencers or people with visibility outside of Uganda, within, but also outside of Uganda.
She adds that the plans are also underway to onboard the kids to perform in the upcoming AFCON come 2027.
Really the tipping point for tourism in this country, even as we had started the conversations with the Ghetto Kids in terms of onboarding them for this year of AFCON, I don't need to educate any Ugandan on the opportunity that AFCON is going to bring in 2027. So as we were having the conversations with Ghetto Kids and a host of other Ugandans who are representing us on...
Philip Aguta for UBC News in Entebbe.
Thank you, Philip, for that. Educators, parents and policymakers have been challenged to nurture young innovators by embracing artificial intelligence from the earliest stages of education. The call was made during the AI Expo at Olive School, Namugongo, where the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation said investing in young minds today will shape Uganda's technological future. Our reporter has the rest of the story.
The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Honorable Jonada Simwakiki, has urged educators, parents and other stakeholders to create an environment that nurtures and supports young innovators. The Minister made the remarks while officiating as chief guest at the AI Expo held at Olive School in Namugongo.
Allow me to congratulate the Olive School for creating this platform. This is precisely where the development of a technological capable nation begins, by exposing younger people early to science, engineering, innovation, problem solving, and giving them the confidence to create.
Artificial intelligence, he said, should not be introduced only at the university level, but should begin from the earliest years of education, including kindergarten.
At that stage, we should already have younger people who are comfortable experimenting, building, coding. I saw some guy coding. There's a boy who was telling me, you know, you code like this. I was like, wow.
As technology continues to transform education and government implements the competence-based curriculum. Olive School says embracing artificial intelligence is key to equipping learners with practical knowledge and future-ready skills.
It has simply come to simplify the work, simplify the thinking, and also provide diversity in information. Some of the challenges we are facing, of course, is there could be communities that are still biased about it, that AI will spoil children and so on.
The school management pledged to continue investing in innovation and technology-based learning to ensure learners acquire the skills needed to contribute to national development while addressing the challenge of youth unemployment.
The truth of the matter is AI is taking over the world, and we cannot hide our heads in the sand. We have to respond. And that response is not about only the way we teach, but also engaging children to know that AI is part and part of daily life. It has to be used for the right and correct purposes.
As Uganda advances its digital transformation agenda, stakeholders believe empowering children with artificial intelligence and innovation skills from an early age will prepare a generation capable of driving sustainable development and competing in the global digital economy.
The parent is Tuliahewa Dixon. And the child is Tuliahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mchisha isha watu yahewa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana mashemero kwa konka MTN mo eberewo mbeni nyegasta igana kaga ni 5 sta munana 0 hash kushashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo muchisheri zagwije wanje ninga nchaka ngwasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
Alo.
Yesebo mwami mukasa.
Mutyaneyo.
Yono broka.
Yenze broka wa mayumba.
Bangambye ne nyumba za mwenunjiko.
Kitufu. Oyagala abisenge bimeka.
Ngabi 3.
Ebeyi bagigambye.
Abangambye 5.
Dedda 7 zali nyamuko.
Yirwachi.
Anti rangi je tusigisa ya mulembe. Anti ne value ekitundu yalinnya.
Musigisachi.
Global Paints.
Mutia.
Ku ceiling. Tukozesa Global Mat. Ate munda ne tukozesa Global Silk Vinyl.
Singa kwetaga wabweru.
Wabweru tukozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion.
Akusiga je musiga. Ogwo mutindo okusasulira sente zonna.
Guli umite.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
All of Africa, welcome everyone.
The second edition of the Dwang Parkour tournament has closed, with the Kiago County defending their crown after intense penalty shootout against the Ajuri County. The champions were crowned by the State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Mercy Lakisa, who reaffirmed government's commitment to investing in sports as a pathway to youth empowerment and talent development. Eddie Orwa brings us to speed.
There were celebrations at Uganda Technical College playground in Lira as the final whistle sparked a pitch invasion, with the jubilant fans sprinting onto the field moments after Ambrose Chigozi buried the winning penalty to seal Kyoga County's successful title defense. With a pride, passion and county bragging identity, defending champions Kyoga County squared off against determined challengers Ajuri County after emerging from a competition that brought together teams from all 21 constituencies across the Lango sub-region. During the penalty shootout, Kyoga's goalkeeper produced a decisive save to deny a jury before Ambrose Chigozie Kamli converted the winning spot kick, sending the defending champions into wild celebrations as they retained the trophy.
Defending champion is not easy, but we fight. From the first day we come up to the last moment.
The trophy was presented by State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Mercy Lakisauri, affirmed government's commitment to investing in sports.
We are going to work hard to ensure that most of the players who have come out of here are attached, one, to good coaching, as the country is also a sector that contributes to the economy. Look at the numbers, thousands and thousands of people who turned up today from all over. So I want to say thank you also to the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, because as Laos Region we have a Kibwa Stadium. It's almost complete, and for us that's the beginning.
We have seen very good talent from the team of Kyoga, team of Ajuri, demonstrating that when we nurture talent in our people, we can witness credible games, credible team coming to play. This is the spirit that we need in Lango.
Leaders hailed the tournament for promoting unity, talent, and keeping young people actively engaged. In only its second edition, the tournament has grown into a powerful platform for talent discovery and community unity. Ediulwa, UBC News.
Thank you, Eddie, for that. For the second time in succession, Dolphin Swim Club have won the House Invitation Swim Meet. Let's take a look.
Over the weekend, the first edition of the Hearts Invitational took place at the Kampala Parents School in Naguru. Over 700 swimmers from 30 clubs participated with a main focus on the ages 14 and below. For a second successive year, Dolphins Juniors claimed the overall trophy with 695 points, as Black Panther was second with 622 points, and Getters came in third with 575 points.
I think this gala is very important for the kids because we get to be a role model to them and show them how to do it, to inspire them to swim better and to train harder. It's also important because we get to train more and see where our performance level is at, so we can go back in training and fix some mistakes we have made.
I think this gala is important for juniors because it will help them improve their times and learn from the older people like us, so they can learn the importance of swimming. It would also help them, encourage them to swim better, and also give them training purposes.
This swim meet, that's widely considered as a developmental gala for young swimmers, was a huge success.
I'm very glad and happy. We've had a very huge turn-up. We had over 700 swimmers, and we've had over 30 clubs that have taken part. And I'm glad to tell you that we have Getters that came up third, we have Black Panthers came in second, and then we have Dolphin Swim Club that are taking this championship for the second year in a row. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, Uganda Aquatics. Thank you for being part of this event. We are glad to have you, and we can't wait to host you next year.
Focus now shifts to the Getters inaugural swim meet, slated in a fortnight's time. Mashamiro Victor, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Miro, for that. Now that story brings us to the very end of UBC Tonight of 8 p.m. Catch us later on at 10 p.m. for yet another edition. My name is Brian Tumwine Byaruhanga, and the sign language is Yusuf Senyomo.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. The Uganda People's Defense Forces invites you to the second edition of the UPDF-CDF Inter-Forces Drill Competition. Join us on Tuesday, 25th August 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for an electrifying showcase of precision drill, synchronized formations, discipline, and military excellence. Under the theme Precision, Discipline, and Cohesion, Pillars of National Resilience and Transformation. Witness UPDF formations battle for the coveted Inter-Forces Drill Championship. Who will take the crown? Will it be the Land Forces, Air Force, Special Forces Command, Field Artillery, Motorized Infantry, Marines Brigade, Directorate of Women Affairs, Military Police, or one of the 1st to 5th divisions? The event will be presided over by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. For more information, call 0392 947 455.
Every organization and individual has a unique story to tell. It includes how they started.
When I thought of retiring, the journey of truckers started.
This was the whole economy of Uganda from 1903 to 1953. And from 1953, other people came into Namunkeke. And then us now.
I came here in 1994.
How they are currently performing and where they are heading.
Our factory for the last 13 years employs over 300.
We present to you the masterminds behind some of the biggest projects in the country.
For the president, he was excited. When he saw this, he said, can it move? He said he's going to do everything to support.
The Minister of Information then invited me to come and start the new vision.
I created the man-made lake.
We have another medicine fights poverty, and that is the PDM now. All this that is happening in the country is enshrined in the subject called Musevenomics. It's the man who has been driving the economic policies which have shaped our direction up to now.
Tune into the Journey program on UBC TV to hear from CEOs, managers, entrepreneurs, diplomats, and many others as they share their inspiring stories and experiences, all aimed at inspiring Uganda.
Every Monday at 11 p.m. and a repeat on Wednesday at 11 a.m.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
welcome to this new edition of Business Africa, your weekly economic magazine. Today we're taking a closer look at energy and agriculture, but first, here are our headlines. Young engineers across Africa are embracing the promise of biogas, which offers a twofold solution: recycling waste and developing clean cooking alternatives.